We must forgive. With other people, like my grandmother, since 2014, so that's been 11 years, it was so raw and in my face that it took me a very long time to even be able to want to forgive her. I've shared some of, she would follow us around. My kids were still in school. We'd have friends with us, her and her friends, and their friends would stand at drive-through and yell things like, you steal from old people and you're a thief and you're no good and fuck you and just all kinds of things. And then, here's my 12-year-old kid in the car with their friend, and their friend's like, what's going on? Well, now I feel like I need to give you a shortened version of why, and probably your parents too, and kicking us out of their house and all that. It wasn't just me you were punishing, or me and my husband. It was me and my 3 kids. And you want to wonder why you don't have a relationship with them? They tried. They tried. I told them, you're more than welcome to have a relationship with that person. I don't want to be a part of that person's life. I don't want to be talked about with that person, but you have every right to have a relationship. But you're the one that damaged your relationship with them, not me. They just saw you for what I saw you for. But I still have to forgive you, because I am a Christian. And even if you're not a Christian, if we hold on to resentment and anger and madness and hate, that is what we're going to also pour out into our lives. That's what our lives are going to be full of. Resentment, hate, you name it. So that isn't something I want to be a part of my life. There are so many times that I have thought I have forgiven her or others for certain things, and then something will resurface and stir those emotions again, and then you go, oh, wait, how can I forgive them? They haven't changed. It's not my job. Not my job to change you. Not my job to do that. So I'm not confronting you, because we're never going to have a relationship. And I've seen you for what you are. And I'm working through that. And forgiveness is not a one and done, because our brains never forget. But I'm going to continue to work on forgiving you, because the first second that it seeps in my head that I have not forgiven you, or that I'm angry with you again, or that I'm mad, hurt, whatever, wish you bad, not who I am. It's not what I'm about. It's not what I want in my life. It's not what I want to give back to the world. I had a situation this past weekend that we were supposed to go to dinner with a bunch of friends. And one thing and another happened with each and every one of them that they couldn't go. And it happened to also be on my birthday. So I text my husband and I said, hey, no rush in coming home today. We're not getting together for supper tonight. Just wanted to let you know. He immediately calls me. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? He knows that my mom never made my birthday a big deal. Let's not say never. In my later years of her still being alive, she never made it a big deal, and many years would forget it. Not even a phone call. A coworker and I joked one time about sending her a birth announcement with my birth date on it. But so to me, birthdays were always a huge deal with our kids. Huge deal. And not just special ones like your sweet 16 and 21st, but like every birthday, we're going to make it a big deal. And sometimes I felt like in my adult life that no one else did that for me. Or like dinner plans get canceled and, oh, it's my birthday. But I honestly was fine this year. I'm like, well, thanks to Mel Robbins, let them. They've got family and commitments and things that come up and whatnot. I will always put my family first. So I am never going to get mad at anybody ever again for putting their family first. Another thing I will never do is beg someone to hang out with me. You want to hang out? Let's hang out. You don't? Okay. See you later. One thing I'm working on with my therapist is finding my peace when I'm alone. Instead of letting my mind race, letting my mind tell me all these negative things I've been told all through my life and just bringing them back to that sense of no self-worth, you're worthless, you're whatever. So that was so sweet of him to call because he knows that a year ago, 2 years ago, that would have broke me. That would have ruined my entire weekend. I would have been distraught, sad, crying, nobody loves me, blah, blah, blah. As my husband's sitting right there going, I do. What do you want to go do? So that being said, that's a milestone for me. So was I disappointed and did I look forward to going out to dinner and celebrating my birthday with a group of friends? Yes. Am I mad? No. We've all got lives. We've all got busy things. We all do for other people. We all have family. Like I said, family to me is always going to come first. So it all worked out. I still had an amazing weekend. I'm not upset. We'll plan another day when we could all make it, hopefully, and we'll just do dinner as friends, and that's great. But betrayal and hurt, they come in all forms. They can come in somebody taking credit for something that they did that you did. It can come in cheating. It can come in like what my grandmother and I did back and forth to each other. What we have to do is make amends for what we have done and what we have done wrong. We have to correct that behavior, not repeat that behavior, learn from that behavior. And I have, and I'm working on that. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to build a platform to help people. I'm sharing my story publicly, telling some very deep things that only my close friends knew. But I'm doing it for the hope. Number one is my healing. That's the number one goal, is my healing for me and my family. And by family, I mean my children, grandchild, and chosen people who are family, not necessarily blood. So I can be the best version of me for them, for me and for them. And that I don't keep repeating those mistakes and hurt. And I don't let that bleed into those relationships I want to keep. and working towards building that platform and that way of helping other people, helping someone else through their healing journey, helping them. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a life coach. I just have real personal experience and fucking up. And more than once, you know, they say, what is it? The definition of insanity is to repeat the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. This girl did it several times. Doesn't work. Sometimes we just have to learn our own lessons. But that, and building my platform, building my fan base or whatever to help other people. There's so much, even at 52 years old, that I have learned. Mel Robbins is a few years older than me. Sarah Hensley, the Love Doctor, and Bunny are younger than me. But, you know, Bunny is one, for example. This woman has been through hell, abusive relationships, childhood trauma. And that woman has so much compassion for the human for the human nation, for her daughter, for other people, complete strangers. That's what I want to be able to do too. I want, whether it's my closest friend or family member or someone I see on the road or at a store or wherever that's suffering or in need, I want to be a help. I want to be a light. And I want to build the financial stability to be able to help people. I know when I turned 50, I got so fixated on how my life was closer to an end now than a beginning. I didn't have a house. I don't this. I don't that. My 401 isn't where I need it to be. Blah, 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 blah. And I got so weighted down from all those negative feelings that I couldn't hardly function. And then it was, what's the purpose? I mean, but I feel so differently. We have a provider where I work that she wanted to be a doctor. Well, she's 70 some years old. When she was graduating school, a female being a doctor, not going to happen. So she went to be a nurse. And later in life, like the last 10 years, she went and became a provider and is now seeing and treating patients. Her lifelong dream took her like 60 some years to do. She could have given up. She could have stayed a nurse. She could have stomped that desire down. But she kept on. And then when we went to Utah and they dedicated the building to the Keach family, or the room to the Keach family, and hearing all of my aunt and uncle's accomplishments. My aunt worked in a time in the 1950s when women who had careers were receptionists or teachers. They didn't go and have big, high-paying, big responsibility jobs to climb a ladder on, but she did, and she did it, and she raised her children good human beings. And then I heard all the things she did. So when I lived with her, she was 50. That she did after I lived with her in her late 50s and 60s. And this woman didn't just get up and go to work 40 hours a week. She did all kinds of stuff. Meaningful things. And those are the women who I aspire after, is my aunt, the podcasters that I've listened to that are so full of positive. And no, not every day is a sprinkled, covered day of sunshine and rainbows and happiness at all, but when we have bad days, we can't unpack there. The first part of July for me was really just ugh. So I was very glad that I did start therapy, because by the end of the month, I had a different outlook. Now I'm going into August, I even have a better outlook. I've started designing my book cover. I've got my book blurb and my book title, and a different idea of how I want to write my book. So I'll be taking what I've already done and kind of revamping it. But it's all, it's good and it's healing. Now, working through trauma can be exhausting, emotional. Sometimes I just gotta put it aside, put it away. But it's been a good thing. And life is good. I mean, I had one hell of a birthday weekend. We went shopping. We went to the drive-in. I went to a comedy show. I saw all three of my kids. We had lunch and cake and ice cream and good food. And so I'm very thankful for all that. I'm thankful for a different insight at 52 than what I had at my 50th birthday. I'm thankful for the hope of what the future can bring. And again, I have a dream and a vision and a hope and a goal and a purpose in life, but I'm leaving that to God too. I'm putting that in His hands, and what He sees fit will flourish and build and grow. And I'm going to embrace every avenue that He sends me down. And there's some days I think, I don't know if I'm equipped for this. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'll be successful. I don't know how to do this on TikTok or grow this on Instagram, but I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and have multiple millions of dollars in my bank account. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and have all my problems solved or the platform built that I want. It's going to be a slow progress, building on day and day and day and day and day. The people who are successful today didn't just become successful in a day. They tried, they failed, they tried again, they critiqued, maybe took a whole different avenue, and that may be my journey. We'll see. But I just want to tell you all, don't chase after people, relationships, jobs, friendships, whatever. If that person is putting the brakes on and stopping you in their tracks, they're not your person. They're not your friend. They're not your loved one. They're not your lover. That's not the job for you if you didn't get it. So, if you got fired, there's something better for you. Self-evaluate if needed, make changes where needed, get counseling, listen to some uplifting podcast. Jay Shetty is another one I started listening to too. Start listening to those. Start inspirational quotes, break out your Bible, whatever works for you. But don't unpack there. Don't unpack on that crappy day. Don't unpack on that roadblock or whatever. Acknowledge if you've done something wrong, even ask God to show you, what have I done wrong? Help me to fix that. Fix it. Work on it. You're going to backslide sometimes. Keep going. You'll get there. Have a good day, y'all. Love ya. I'm leaving at 2 from work. We're going to a park and have some fun team building activities to do. So I'm excited about this. But I just wanted to jump on here and share some insights. Love y'all. Bye.